Hello, scale modelers, and anybody who happens to be building the Eaglemoss Back to the Future DeLorean. Alright, so this video is about the first look at the rear strut mod that I am doing for this. Alright, so pretty much just like I did with the front shock, I started doing with the rear strut, and I kinda got this part right up in here looking like it was from a real strut. Of course, it's not the smoothest down in here, but you know, once everything's said and done, I mean, who's really going to be looking at these things? Alright, so I got the inner shaft right here. It's not completely secured in place just yet, so no blue Loctite or super glue or anything holding that in, just a screw for right now. But there is no play on it from one of the other parts that I do happen to have to help keep that secured in place. So, yep, and part goes down. Whoop, and then I knock my camera. Starting off a great day here, because right now this is being recorded. It's Wednesday. What the heck? 29th, I think? I'm not really positive. But yeah. So, this rear strut will have a lot of travel. It will have more. I might need to trim this shaft down a bit. That's another reason why it's not completely secured in place. Not just yet, anyway. So, alright. Yep. And yeah, you can tell I do have some of the Model Mods wiring up in there for their power mod. Alright, so these are 3 different springs right here. 3 different PSI rated springs that I will choose on which one will be best for this rear strut. Okay, so this is the one that came with the kit. Yeah. Alright, so we all know that the spring that came with the front shock, that has to be anywhere from like a 30 to a 60 pound rated spring. This back one is probably anywhere from 20 to 40 PSI rated spring. And you can base it off of how many coils are in there. Now, all of you know that they used springs that were way too big. The PSI rating on those is just way too big for a car this, even any kind of model car. Okay, because these are like machine springs right here. Which, it's heavy duty. It's just way too heavy duty to put on a model car in general. So I have 3 different rated springs, all rated a lot lower than that one. So, hold on, let me see if I can tell the difference right here. Okay, so that's the middle one. That's definitely the lower one. So this one, I believe, is a 5-pound rated spring. You can easily squeeze it. This is the next one. I believe this is, geez, what is this? I believe it's anywhere from a 10 to 12, maybe up to 15 rated spring. I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've been on the site. And I believe this is anywhere from a 15 to a 17-pound rated spring. You can really tell the difference when I'm squeezing on them. Which one's easier to compress? And I mean, just look at my fingers, how they're like twitching and everything while I'm doing it. But it all depends when this goes on and how easy these compress under the weight of the entire car. And the only real way to do that is not to attach the body to the frame. What you're going to do is you're going to have everything set in there, and you're going to put the body over the top. And if, let's say you use the 5-pound spring, let's say it is putting too much weight down on that suspension, you're probably going to have to go up to the next level spring, which it might be a while until I can actually do that, because all I'll be able to do at some point here is finish this one strut and see if I can get all the wheels attached, which would mean I'd have to finish off the second front strut, attach the wheels, and then just put a little bit of force down on there with just my hand to see how far down it goes with just my hand, because my hand will be able to put a lot more force down than just the extra, I don't know, like 3 pounds of weight from the frame or the body of the car when it goes on here. But we'll find out. So this end right here, I know it looks quite a bit mangled up, but because it is die cast metal, it is kind of soft, and that is honestly the only way to actually get, if you're cutting this off the factory piece right here, because this bit right here is the factory piece, and this is some metal, hollow metal tubing that I put on there. Just like with the front shock, I cut it down, I put some threads on the end piece right there, and then tap the inside of the metal shaft and screwed it in place. And this one right here does have a bit of super glue around the outside, so I put the blue thread lock on the inside, and then I put super glue around the outside, just as a way to help, like, make that transition look a little bit more okay, because this shaft is a little bit smaller in diameter than that hollow shaft is. And at least for this, I'm probably going to have to get some JB Weld and run it around the outside of this piece right here, just to help make this piece a little bit stronger. Gonna need to, because I mean, you can see by doing that. I mean, I was trying to figure out something to make out of the parts that I have to simulate this. It just wasn't working out, so I just decided to lob it off and thread it and screw it in place, which turned out to be the easiest way to do it. So, and that's another reason why I only have this top portion here painted. Geez, I have like maybe 4 or 5 coats of black paint on there. And even with that, it must have hit the ground because I have a little chip spot right there, which I'll have to go back over it. Alright, and I have not done anything with the magnets or anything on the back half of the suspension just yet. I also have this piece right here. I have a little scale hardware 2.5mm washer on there, which when the body goes on you're not going to see that anyway. I have one of the washer and the 2mm nut on this side. All I have to do is cut that down, and then that'll be good to go. And then just figure out before I use the blue thread lock on there how tight I'll actually have to put this. But this rear suspension, you know, obviously it goes right in there, and you can see right here that, yeah, that's a bit too long. So just have to cut that down so that way there's space so it doesn't rub on anything when that's finally put back in. And I will still be using that screw because when the body's on you're really not going to be seeing that either. So that's the first look of this strut. So far so good. Alright, and I just want to show you a little demo here. So, just so you can see, obviously, you know, this is going to be a little bit more pushed in, but like I said, this possibly can go up even further, and well, it's not, might not give it more travel, but it'll be able to travel further up there, because right now you can hear it. It's stopping right there. But I mean, just from that you can kind of see the rating on that spring. Oh, excuse me. And then this is the next one up. Rating on that one. Still easy, but like I said, I mean, hands can put more PSI into moving something than just natural weight. So, or I should say the natural weight of the vehicle. So, and then this is the next one, which still moves really well, but I'm going to base it on the final weight of the car, because it's probably going to come down to one of these two springs. I don't even want to use that. I mean, you probably could. Of course, you'll probably have to beef this piece up a little bit more in order to make that happen. But, I mean, nah. So, I mean, the original struts can more than likely handle that spring. But, like, a homemade strut like this is probably only gonna be rated, oh, look at that, more paint chipped off. Oh well. And that's just from the springs. I can go back over it. It's pretty much just assembled and rated for maybe these two springs right here anyway. So when it comes down, just like with the front shock, I will be posting videos on my work on these every so often, and eventually have a list of parts and tools that I use to actually do this. So, as always, thanks for watching Brian's Builds.